people, it's another beautiful morning in this idyllic surroundings with birds chirping and a jackhammer and some construction noise in the background. Today we're going to talk about a great little tea from a great little tea company called Lucas Teas in Squamish, BC. Fukamushi SENCHA. It's a really unique tea, and I'm really excited to tell you its story. Now, it's not the kind of tea that you want to enjoy in the evening. It's definitely got caffeine and will keep you up at night. It is the most popular tea in Japan. 80% of Japanese tea production actually goes into making this stuff. Unlike Chinese green teas, which are pan-fried, and now some Korean ones that follow the Chinese model, Japanese greens are pretty much always processed by steaming to halt the fermentation process and prevent it from oxidizing and turning into black tea. There are 3 types of steaming processes. Asamushi, or lightly steamed, which is steamed for 20 to 30 seconds. Chumushi, or futsumushi, which is medium steaming, which is 30 to 40 seconds. And this stuff, which is fukamushi, which is 60 seconds or more of steaming. This steams for up to 1.5 minutes. Doesn't seem like it would be much time, but actually in that small amount of time, there's a really big flavor difference. Today we're having a fukamushi sencha, or deeply steamed tea. To any Japanese viewers out there, gomen nasai. I do believe that I'm putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable. In the fukamushi, or deep steaming process, you get a really unique sencha. The leaves are brittle, they break easier, and it has a shorter brew time. It is a really fine leaf, tiny bitsies in here. It also has a really strong green smell and a brilliant lime green. Because the leaves are so broken up, often has this residue, that's not a good word for it, a little bit of tea powder, if you think about it like free matcha at the bottom. Perfect. Fukamushi has a really fascinating story to tell. So post-World War II, Japan was struggling to compete internationally with its teas. Now, whether for actual quality reasons or for a little bit of like those anti-Japanese sentiments, Japan's teas were considered kind of low quality compared to the Chinese alternatives. And they discovered that longer steaming cut down on the undesirable qualities of lower quality teas. As a side note, the grassiness or astringency can actually mean more nutrients, which is something that Japanese tea producers prize. Fukamushi kind of gave them the best of both worlds. They could maintain the high nutrient content and create something that had a really buttery, full-bodied flavor without nearly as much bitterness as a lot of other Japanese green teas. Fukamushi actually gave these cheap teas kind of a higher quality, more robust flavors, more of a smoother, more buttery mouthfeel, less astringency and grassiness, which Western people not really accustomed to. Somewhere along the line, someone had the bright idea, what if we didn't use Fukamushi just to make cheap teas seem more expensive? What if we actually used this process on expensive, high quality teas? And bam, they had an amazing drink on their hands. Your teas that are better for you tend to have more astringency. Now, obviously that's not always the case, but Fukamushi makes teas that are better for you actually taste better. For example, teas grown in flat regions like Makinohara or Shizuoka get more sun, which translates into more nutrients in the leaf. But the extra nutrients give these teas a harder taste. This particular Lucas tea is actually from Shizuoka. Okay, it's good for me, right? It's full of catechins and yummy, delicious, super astringent, cancer-fighting stuff. Fukamushi sensei, please give us great taste and health benefits. It even tastes good with tap water. I know, brewing tea with tap water is pretty much as close to sacrilege as you can get in the tea world, but millions of people worldwide do it. So here's a tea that will still work. This is kind of one of the claims to fame of Fukamushi, actually, that you can brew it with tap water, which is an interesting claim to fame because like 90% of the people who drink it probably like, I always drink my tea with tap water. What's the problem here? The other awesome thing about Fukamushi sencha is that longer steaming equals shorter brewing. It does mean less bitterness in the cup. So this particular Fukamushi brews at 77 to 84 degrees Celsius water for 30 to 60 seconds. That's not very long, right? Compared to some blacks and some other teas that you want to steep for like 3 or 4 minutes. Just so that you can understand how a great tea is made. It's complicated. There's a lot of steps involved. So much love goes into crafting this tea. It's precision, even down to the time of day that it's picked. Just after sunrise to avoid the morning dew, because contamination from morning dew can cause partial overheating during the steaming process, which destroys plant tissues and tea quality. And it would be a shame to waste such amazing tea. If morning dew can contaminate tea and change the flavor, it's kind of like, well, that's why the tap water thing. Do not oversteep. You will end up with a bitter, astringent mess. You need to pay attention to this tea. To me, it is like the richest tasting green that I've had. It has a sweet kind of nuttiness. It's maybe a bit like steamed edamame, you know? I highly recommend this tea. And the Lucas Teas version is fantastic. So if you want to try what's in my cup, check out Lucas Teas and tell them Tea Craze sent you. Awesome tea shop in Squamish, BC. Go on lucasteas.com and just place an order to ship to you. They have some really great blends on there, some really cool teas. That is my little lesson on fukamushi SENCHA. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more tea content. YouTube has that bell thing, so if you do want to kind of see more videos, just don't forget to click the bell. And remember, if you drinky, flick the pinky. Bye for now.